Rowans Hospice has provided specialist end-of-life care for over 20 years, and it came about after a group of district nurses based in Somerstown started to campaign and fundraise for a hospice. They wanted it to serve the people of Portsmouth, enabling everyone in their final moments of their life to remain an individual to the end. The charity are now looking for your help as more volunteers are needed. Lorraine and Hilary from Rowans join us in the studio now to tell us more. So, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lorraine, starting with you.
Yes.
What do the volunteer group do and why are you needing more volunteers?
We've got volunteers across all areas of the hospice. So we've got receptionists, we've got people that do the garden, we've got people that serve meals on the ward, floral ladies, all avenues really we couldn't manage without our volunteers. They actually keep the hospice running. So we're looking for more volunteers. We just opened the Living Well Centre down the road. So we're looking for volunteers for the Living Well Centre and also for bank positions in the hospice. So
and what's the Living Well Centre?
the Living Well Centre is a new centre that opened in October, and that's a drop-in centre where people with life-threatening illnesses can come. They can receive therapy, they can receive help, there's people to chat to them, there's a coffee shop. So it's a drop-in centre rather than the hospice, which obviously we've got patients at the hospice.
So, for example, for the hospice in general, in the past it had really been end-of-life care, and that's why people are there. But the Living Well is helping those people before they need to be in the hospice.
Yes, it is.
And to live as well as they can.
Absolutely, and they can just drop in, which is fantastic. They don't have to be referred by a GP or anything. They can just drop in.
Brilliant. And we have a volunteer here. So, how long have you been a volunteer?
I think about 18 months. So. Not long compared with many of the other volunteers.
And how many, do they just join and never go?
It does seem like that. I know there are a couple of ladies who arrived with the foundation stone, so
that's brilliant.
So that's a long, long time to be volunteering.
That was the 90s, wasn't it?
It's 25 years, is it?
Yeah, so I know it goes so fast, doesn't it? But I think it took them 20 years to raise the money to bring that to Portsmouth in the first place, which is incredible. Well, what made you want to be a volunteer?
Well, when I retired, I knew I had to do something, and I'd picked up a bit of part-time paid work, and then a friend of mine said, why don't you try the Rowans? I used to work for social care, so I thought, surely I must have some transferable skills. So I put my application in and had my DBS check. And the vacancy at the time was in the coffee shop. I thought, well, I'll start there, and I love it. Really? I love it because in the coffee shop, because it's based in the reception area, it's a kind of, you're in the building, but you're not in the ward. So the visitors, and it is mainly for visitors, the visitors can come out of their patients' or their loved ones' rooms, have a little breather, sit in the coffee shop without actually leaving the premises. It's a kind of respite area, I think. So it's really good to meet people who are there, and lots of people will think, oh, working in a hospice, it must be quite gloomy and tragic, and it isn't at all. It's a very positive place, and people are really quite upbeat under the circumstances, and it's a really good thing to do.
I think
I like it. It makes me feel better, and if I feel better, then everybody else does as well.
I could definitely imagine that. But they have proven as well that people who volunteer live longer lives than people who don't volunteer at all.
That's true.
I'll let you know.
You
could be monitoring.
You can tell me how it goes. Definitely. Now, we're going to come back to it again a bit later, but you said that there's an event that people can come to if they're interested in volunteering.
There is, yes. We've got an open day on the 21st of January, running from 10 till 1 at Purbrook. So anybody that's interested, if they can contact the hospice so that we can register their interest and come along, that would be fantastic. We'll be showing people around the hospice. We're recruiting for the retail shops and the Living Well, at that event. So
So when you say
yes.
retail shops, is that the coffee shop?
No,
What
the,
is the
the
retail
actual,
shops?
all the shops out in the community,
Oh, of
so
course.
the charity shops, yes.
Yes, so you don't have to actually be in the hospice to be a volunteer.
No, you don't, no.
Right. But I mean, going back to being in the hospice, because I've had a use of, one of my family members was in the hospice fairly recently, and not the hospices around here, but the work that the volunteers do is absolutely incredibly vital. And such, you know, you can't thank them enough to be there for stuff that you need, because especially when you might want to use, say, the coffee shop, it's not at normal times, it's not specifically at 11, it could be when someone else comes to take your place so that your loved one is not left alone, and then that's the only chance you might get out to actually get a break.
Yes, that's right.
And not necessarily break, and also you don't really want to break, I mean, you want to be served and looked after, you know, and all that kind of thing. It's vital.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So the other roles that you mentioned that you have are the flowers. What do people do with flowers?
We actually have donations given to us, you know, by people whose loved ones have passed away, and the floral tributes are brought to the hospice, and then they're made into beautiful arrangements, and they brighten the hospice. All the patients have got flowers in their rooms.
But then they don't look like funeral brooms, they just look like
lovely flowers.
Because often when you go to, for example, if poor people have to die in a hospital, you're not allowed flowers.
No, that's right.
It's a totally different environment, and even if it's perhaps not so I can't think what the word is, but for example, my mum hated every minute of being in a hospice, but it was only because of her previous years ago. Her mum, like 50 years earlier, had died, so it was a totally different
not
thing.
the same.
No, but the difference being in the hospital for us, the family that were there looking after her, compared to being in the hospice, it was the most beautiful place for her to be. She could go outside, she could have her flowers there, it was just amazing. So thank you very much, and just hope you get lots more volunteers.
Thank you very much.
And I'll just quickly say the reminder of the event is January the 21st
January the 21st.
at Rowans in Purbrick.
Yes, lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.